can you address the injuries first and foremost?
Say it again?
Can you address the injuries first and foremost, Benji and...
Benji, he burst his Achilles. He's getting surgery today. Okay. So, freak accident in his dynamic warm-up on Friday. Heart goes out to him. Unfortunately, his career at ASU is over on the ice, but he's such a good kid, such a positive leader, such a huge piece of our program, past and present. He's got the most positive outlook out of anybody, and that's just the kind of person that he is. So we're going to carve out a new role for him and kind of make him a student coach, so to speak. And he's not going to miss anything. We're going to take him on every trip and do everything we can to incorporate, his presence into everything that we do the rest of the way. So just a freak thing. It's the same dynamic warm-up he's done for 5 years, and it was just a freak accident. So, obviously something aggravated it, and he ruptured it, and he's getting surgery today. Artie is day to day. We'll see. I would say there's definitely a chance he could be in Friday. So we just gotta continue to mend him up, and obviously he's another big loss. I mean, he hasn't just been probably our best player. The month of January, you could argue he was probably the best player in all of college hockey the month of January. That's how good he's been. So we're hoping to get him back for Friday or Saturday. But if not, that's just kind of been the story this year. First thing Benji said to me when I went in and saw him Friday was we were an hour away. We were an hour away from having our lineup that we thought we'd have, and unfortunately we just are never going to have it. So that's kind of been our story. It's been next man up, and the guys have dealt with it incredibly well, and nothing changes from that regard.
When a player like Artie goes down that early in a game, what's the message to your team?
Well, I think the first thing I told the guys after the game on Saturday was how proud I was of how they really just stared adversity. They had more adversity last weekend than you thought, and that I think outsiders really knew. When you lose a heart and soul guy on Friday, right before you go out on the ice for warm-ups, and Benji, who everybody knows is in his last season here, everybody knows how huge of a piece he is to our lineup. He's our best PK guy. He's out there in big defensive situations. He gives us energy in the forecheck. He's irreplaceable, and then just having his presence. And then the next night, then you go out and you win 7-1, and you rally around him, you play for him. And the next night, another heart and soul guy who's been our best player over the last month and a half gets carried off in a stretcher. It'd be real easy for a team to not be able to compartmentalize what they just saw and not knowing what's happening with their teammate and use that as an excuse to not perform. And instead, they did the exact opposite. They dialed it right back in and scored 2 goals within the next few minutes and never looked back. So it was really impressive how our guys dealt with the adversity that was thrown at them. And really mentally tough, and I was really, really proud to see that.
Coach, how do you think Cole Gordon has come out upon the last 3 weeks or so, especially having to replace Benji on such short notice?
Yeah, I mean, he was ready to go. He came out and scored a goal right away, and he's been great for us all year, and he's valuable. Where you can rely on him. He's good on face-offs. He filled on the kill this weekend and did a good job there. And then, he's chipping in, offensively here and there, just going to the net. So he's a great energy guy. He's a good presence in the room and on the bench, and we're lucky to have him.
Coach, what makes Denver one of the best teams in college hockey? What's your message to your team in practice this week preparing for them?
Well, we know, we went up there and had success, and we're going to get, I don't think we probably got their very best last time we played them. We're going to get their best this weekend. They're going to be ready to go. There's no taking us lightly, and we're going to have to be even better than we were up there, and it's all about with them because they're just so gifted and so creative offensively, buying into killing plays and being great defensively. And that's really what we focused on against Miami is really playing from our net out and layering onto that. We think we're a really good team off the rush, and obviously we're scoring goals, so we feel like we're going to get ours if we just play the right way. But we have to really protect, our net front and kill plays and get it and go on offense. It's simple. So nothing changes this weekend. We just have to do it at a really, really high level.
That Denver series was kind of the start of your guys' run. What's the difference of this team from then to now?
I probably nothing. Like, I mean, it was the weekend that I think it really clicked with our guys. We're like, hey, we're good. Like, it all came together and we got the results that we all desire. And I still don't know if we've played as well as we played that weekend since. We played really well in stretches, but we've used that as our standard that we want to try to meet every time we put on our jersey. And it's going to require at least that to have success Friday, at least, probably more.
What's it like been having both Homer and Pav be able to split starts this season and having the confidence in them both?
Yeah, I mean, they've both been awesome. I mean, it's in their numbers. They're both won big games, and it's nice to have two. And when you go into a league like this the first year, we felt like we needed two guys that we could really rely on, and they've both been great and reliable. Pav, I think, is 9-1 in his last 10 starts. So the Miami weekend, I think going in, the intention was to split, but I just felt like he was so steady and calm on Friday. It just made sense to go back with him on Saturday. It was a must-win, and he's feeling it right now. So you haven't seen the last of Gibby. Gibby's ready to go. Gibby will be great the next time he's in the net, and we'll just have to see when that is.
What's the emphasis on staying out of the box this weekend, number 1 and number 2 power plays, respectively?
Yeah, I mean, the very, very good power play. Obviously, the best way to not see it is to not take penalties. I think that obviously in the 2 losses that we have had in the last 15 games, where we're 13-2, those are 2 games where we've taken way too many penalties, right? And not dirty penalties, not high hits, just stick penalties, and not moving our feet, not defending the way we need to defend with good sticks. And it was the obviously second period of both of those games that really just set us back. So you do that against a power play this good, they're A, going to make you pay, and B, just completely wear you down if you just have to kill. So we got to stay out of the box to have any chance at all to have success this weekend.
What makes both of your guys' power play so good?
Just great players. I think you gotta at some point, you just, as a coach, you just gotta kind of give credit where credit's due. You have really good players that are creative, that can think, that can move a puck, and that can finish. That's what both teams have. I don't know who runs their power play for them, but Hicksey, runs ours, and he's done a great job every year and pretty much had us in the top 10 in the country for the majority of the last few years. And now he's got us, 2, I think. So hopefully it keeps going, but they're feeling it. They have a ton of confidence, and even the second unit has so much talent on it. It was really good at Miami. It didn't score, but it hit a couple posts, and it started to really click too.
If you do take a penalty, your penalty kill has been very strong this year. How do you attack such a good power play, though?
You have your identity on the kill, and we know what ours is. It's being aggressive and not giving them space, and being good on their entries, and just not letting them set up. And when you can pressure, you got to pressure. And be willing to eat pucks. So just doing all the things that we do, all the things that we look for in guys that kill, and they're doing a great job. They did a great job in Miami, and they're going to have to be at their very best this weekend.
Pav had a great performance at Denver in those 2 games. Is there an advantage for a goaltender or the opposing team seeing the goaltender multiple times?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. No. I mean, I think if anything, Pav knows he can beat these guys. He did it twice up there, and his confidence is high. And like I said, he's I think 10-1 in his last 11, and it all started up there. So no, I don't think that there's any disadvantage at all. I mean, as far as they go, I don't know. You'd have to ask them that, but I know he's very confident.
A lot of people talk about Denver on offense, and rightfully so. They're arguably one of the best offensive teams in the country. But what can you say about the defensive structure that they play with?
Yeah, Denver doesn't give up much because they're such a great possession team. They generally have the puck, the majority of the game when they're playing the way they want. So you have to, obviously, you have to be really good and dialed defensively against these guys. When they start getting into their ozone movement and buzzing around with the way that they want to play, they're special, and that's why they've they've been so good for so long, and obviously have a great coach and incredible staff that do a great job with them, and great players. They have everything you want, so you don't win national championships by just being good offensively. You win it by having great goaltending and being really good defensively, and they have all that.
What makes this team similar and different from that 2020 team that last made the tournament, since you guys are coming towards the end of the season?
I mean, I think just the bond that they have, and the fact that they play for each other is very similar to both of those tournament teams that we had. This team, in my opinion, and it's certainly no disrespect to those two teams because I love them, but this team, in my opinion, has more upside. This team has more depth and the ability to not just get to a tournament. I don't think there's a kid in our room that would say our goal is just to get to a tournament. Our goal is to be in St. Louis when the season's over, and be playing in St. Louis. And this is a team that is clearly good enough to do it, and we believe that, and we just have to keep proving it every weekend. It doesn't matter who we play.
A few weeks ago, you mentioned how you really wanted the forecheck to get a lot better before the CC series. Have you seen the improvement there, and how important?
It's getting better. It still has work to do. I thought we were much better at Miami and more committed to getting pucks in and establishing the forecheck and putting some pressure on their D, and we're going to have to do that this weekend. If you want to get cute to neutral ice against these guys, they're going to turn it around on you real quick and make you pay. So we have to take care of the puck and be willing to give it up to get it back, and put it in areas where we know we can get it back. And everybody's got to be committed to being an F1 and having that tenacious detail that we want on our forecheck. And I think we're on the mend as far as that goes, but it's got a lot of room for improvement.
Heck of a weekend for you up in Miami. There you go. What did you feel like worked so well out of your game?
I mean, to be honest, it was a pretty relaxed weekend for me. The boys really helped me out in front of me, especially the second game with the 11 shots. I mean, those games are tough too, where you're just sitting waiting. Me and Gibby were laughing every time I go to the bench. I'm like, this is a fun game, man. But in those games, you got to stay in as best as you can, playing the puck, talking, moving after every whistle, stuff like that. But I just think, we know Miami wasn't the best team, but those are the games where if you fall, you lose one, that's when it can really hurt our season. That's what we talked about in the locker room, where we really have to be dialed in. Even though we know we can beat them, but we can't just show up and be too relaxed and take them easy, because, like I said, you drop a game to them, you can ruin your whole season. So I think it kind of showed the character, where we know we should win, but we did it with authority as well, played really well, didn't give up too many crazy opportunities. So it was a nice weekend for me, and a good sweep for the boys.
Obviously a different opponent this week in Denver. Yeah. You had previous success with them back in November. What are you taking from that series in November and bringing it to this week?
I mean, Denver's obviously a really good team. It's just it's going to come down to how we want to play. In front of me, obviously I can control so much, and then it's all up to the rest of the guys to score goals, block shots, stuff like that. But we all have trust in each other, and it's more so stay relaxed, stay loose. It's another game, another weekend. Just have fun with it. Don't take it, too seriously. Obviously we're going to take it seriously, but you want to have fun, especially in my last year. I'm just enjoying every day, every weekend, all the trips with all the guys. It's just, I'm having a blast, so yeah.
Is there any extra motivation this weekend knowing you're playing the defending national champions at home?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good one with the crowd and everything. It'll be special, and to be a part of that will be really cool. And we're definitely looking forward to it, no doubt.
What's it been like? He's also splitting starts with Gibby, and then when Gibby's in the next one playing well as well. Mm-hmm. How do you know, knowing that when he comes in, the boys are also competent and in the position to win? Yeah,
I think it's great, because no matter who's playing, you want to win. That's my mindset as well. Just because when you win, you succeed, and we keep moving on. And our end goal, our coach talking about, is we want to be in St. Louis. Everyone wants to, and there's a lot of good teams out there. The rankings are really good, and I feel like we have a very good shot, no doubt in our minds. And just got to keep moving forward, keep playing how we're playing, and keep that confidence up.
Coach mentioned how close this group is and how that has such an impact on you guys on the ice.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that? And how do you think this team kind of compares in terms of prior teams you've been
Yeah,
on?
definitely. I'd say one of the closest teams I ever was on was when I was 17, playing in the OJ, Ontario Junior Hockey League. And the cool thing was a lot of guys on the team were from around Buffalo, because that's, and a lot of Canadian kids, but Canada's so close to Buffalo. And I went to school with these guys. I mean, played against hockey growing up, so we already had that bond going into it, but then it just got even stronger when we were together. And the Buffalo Junior Sabres, they're never the best team in the OJ, but we were really good that year, and that was COVID year, and we got shut down, which sucked. Because we won, it was our first series. We beat Burlington in 6 games, which was really cool. But, I always use that team as a reference to other teams I've been on, and it kind of feels that way, especially me coming in as a transfer. This is my 3rd school, and everywhere I've gone, especially Lowell, guys were great, had me coming, but here I can't even describe it. It's that family feel, always messing with the guys, playing Xbox, just, doing whatever, going out to dinners. We've gone to escape rooms, which have been a blast. But, yeah, it's just when you have that kind of a group, it just makes you that much better. Because when there's divide and there's certain groups, it makes it tough to really come together as a team, and that's what you need at the end of the year.
Who's the best and the worst player on the escape rooms?
Oh no. I'll be honest. I'd say I'm very middle of the pack, but I went with, so it was me, Noah Beck, Arden Schlane, Anthony Dowd. Who else? I think Bennett came with us. I forget, but I will say Bex was dialed. He was really good, and I was surprised. Like, he was figuring, because we did the hardest one, and I didn't mean to sign up for that one. not smart. But, yeah, it was a lot of fun. We're laughing. We're, like, yelling at each other, like, no, this is what you're supposed to do. But it was a good time. We got to go back for sure.
Did you escape?
We did, with, like, 30 seconds left.
You guys are 13th in the pairwise, kind of still considered a bubble team if it weren't for the automatic bid with the win in the conference. What's kind of the approach through this last final stretch of the season? You guys have a couple of tough opponents coming up.
Yeah, we want to win our league for sure. We want to win the NCHC. We don't want to leave it up to the polls or whatever it is. Obviously, having an at-large is great, but we want to win. We want to win 2 championships. We don't want to win 1. So that's what our goal is, and that's what we're fighting for.
How's it just been first, now you've been back for a little bit of a while, how are you feeling?
Good, yeah. Today's practice was tough, but feeling good. Now that we're kind of having no weeks off here and we're playing weekend after weekend, I feel like everybody's kind of getting in the swing of things, and we had a nice little run after Christmas there, and hopefully we can get another one started here.
You've played Denver a few times now here at ASU. What makes them so good, and how do you guys combat that?
I think they're really, really strong offensively when they get pucks into your zone. They do a really good job holding on to pucks and making plays and forcing you to defend for like long periods of time, which tires you down, and then that makes the rest of the game tougher. So I think that to combat that, we need to kill plays fast like we did earlier this season, and make their lives a little bit more difficult in the offensive zone. Hopefully things will go well if we do that.
To piggyback off that too, Ty, when you look at, obviously you haven't gone up there and swept them, it's been a little bit of time, and you can imagine they probably had the circle for a little bit because getting beat at home, but like when you're facing a team like that, what do you expect from like the start of the game and just kind of the intensity and tempo?
Yeah, especially this late in the season, like it's going to be really intense. We're getting close to playoffs. They're such a good team that we know that the speed's going to be high. We know it's going to be one of those playoff-like games. And as you mentioned, we beat them twice this year, so they're going to come back hungry. I think those wins will hopefully give our group some belief, but I think we all remember how difficult it was to get the job done up there, so we're not going to take it lightly.
That Denver series back in November was kind of the turning point in your guys' season. How much have you guys grown since that series?
Yeah, I think a lot, and a lot of that is just with our team confidence and belief. As I mentioned, like at that point, we felt like we were playing good games, and we were outplaying teams, and we were out shooting teams, but we just couldn't find a way to win. And then that weekend, we found a way to win a couple games, and since then we we almost have that confidence going into games, and we really believe that we can get the job done no matter who we're playing against. So I think that's where we've grown a lot. And then just trying to maintain that consistency is what's going to be important down the stretch here.
What's it like having both Gibby and Pav back in the net, knowing that either of them in the net can help you guys win each game?
It's awesome. I haven't been on many teams where we've had two goalies like that. So to have them, whether Gibby's in or Pav's in, like we're really confident as a team that they're going to make the stops we need them to make, and we just need to do our job.
What kind of a loss is Benji Eckerly to the roster?
Yeah, he's a really, really great teammate, a good friend of mine, and a really important player to our team because of the energy he brings and because of the role he plays. Like he is a big penalty killer on our team, and he's in the lineup every night, and he's really impactful with his speed and with his compete level. And he scored some big goals over the years too. So it is a big hole, but we have so much depth here that I'm sure that we'll be able to fill that hole, and I'm sure he will continue to lead the group from the outside and continue to be the great teammate that he is.
Looking back at the Denver series from a few months ago, is there anything you guys are changing this time around?
No, I think it's the same mentality going in. Remember how good they are as a team, and like I mentioned, kill plays fast, make their lives difficult, make sure we're staying above pucks. Just all the things that have made us successful this season. We want to continue to do those things and at the highest level against one of the best teams we play all year.
When Benji goes down before Friday's game and then already has that scary injury, not even 5 minutes into Saturday's game, how hard is it for you guys to kind of compartmentalize that and play your game?
Yeah, it's not easy for sure. It was a scary incident on Saturday there with Schlainer, and really unfortunate with Benji, but we've been a team that's dealt with injuries kind of all year, and even last year and the year before for the guys that were here, like we've been down guys at several moments, and we just have confidence in everybody in that room that they can step up and fill in a role and do a really good job, and that's what we need here.
Coach Powers talked about how this 2024 edition, 2025 edition of this team has more upside than prior ASU teams that made the tournament. Are you feeling that upside with the rest of your teammates?
Yeah, I think this is the strongest college team I played on, and when I was at Northeastern, we went to the NCAA tournament, so I think this is the strongest roster for sure that I played on. I think we have a lot of skill, and we're older, and those two things are really important when you get into the playoffs. And yeah, we just have so much depth, so I think we have no real weaknesses anywhere, and yeah, I agree with that for sure.
How have you seen the chemistry and the bonds off the ice kind of translate to your guys' play on the ice?
Yeah, I mean, I think the off ice stuff makes coming to the rink every day a lot more fun. The mood, the energy is a lot higher, and it definitely makes on ice. It translates to on ice, right? Guys are happier. Guys are going to have more energy on the ice. They're going to play better, feel more confident in the room. So yeah, I think that's how the off ice stuff kind of translate onto the ice for sure.
You personally have played a ton of big games, and now it's coming down to the last few weekends of the season. What are you telling some of the younger guys who haven't played in that kind of atmosphere right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think just trying to build their confidence. I feel like all of our freshmen this year, I've seen them grow a lot throughout the season, from game one till now. Like a lot of them are playing big minutes and playing really good hockey. So I think just trying to keep them confident and up for the challenge is really important at this point in the year. They've all played or close to 30 games now, and I think they understand like how our team plays and what's needed to get wins now at this level. So I think for them it's just trying to build them up, keep their confidence high, and make sure that they're excited for these games.
Anything else?
How happy were you for your line mate in Sillinger on the weekend, setting that record and just seeing how he's grown as a Sun Devil?
Yeah, no, that was awesome. He's such a good playmaker, and that's a big deal to set a record like that in a college program, especially because he's only been here for 3 years. So to be able to do that with less than 4 seasons, and it's awesome to play with him, and I'm really excited for him, and hopefully he can get a few more down the stretch here.
No, what can you say about the power play right now? It's completely clicking and number 2 in the nation, and you kind of had that number 1 unit.
Yeah, I just think it's obviously we had a few changes, and there's been a lot of guys in and out of it, but now we kind of found our rhythm. Everyone uses each other no one's selfish on it. Doesn't matter who's shooting it. We're just looking for the open guy, and like you said, it's really been clicking. So hopefully we can continue that into this weekend.
You'll go up against a top power play in the nation. On the penalty kill, how do you control and stop that?
It'll obviously be tough. I think it's more so focusing on what we can control, going over some of their tendencies and just obviously understanding that we got to stick to our plan and executing what we do best on the penalty kill.
What do you see their tendencies being?
They're great puck movers. They got a lot of talent over there, obviously, with, some of the best players in the country, and just sort of making them make the hard plays. Can't make it easy for them being aggressive, so just forcing them into things they don't want to do.
What are some of the things you're going to take from last time playing them in November to now? Like, what are the lessons you guys have learned?
I think our team's changed a lot over that time, and I think they're going to be extra hungry, obviously, with what happened last time we played them, and this time it's in our building. So just like you said, sort of learning little things from that game, watching video from those two games, and understanding what we need to do to sort of take it to them again. And it's in front of our fans, so we gotta do the best we can.
To piggyback off that though too, obviously beating them twice, like you said, in their building, you guys have obviously had games, they've had games, but do you feel like when that happens to a team like that, they've kind of circled this on their schedule to get down here?
Yeah, 100%. We know they're going to be very hungry and obviously want payback. We would be the same way with teams that have swept us, and we know it's going to be tough. They're coming off a 11-goal game. Their offense is firing, so we got to be prepared and sort of take it to them rather than let them take it to us right away.
What's it been like having two great goalies, Pav and Gibby, behind you in that?
Oh, it's amazing. It's every single night, just easy to trust them, and they're just amazing guys as well. It's easy to play for them, and we want each of them to do so well. So whenever, it doesn't matter who's in net, we're playing just as hard to get them their win.
Hobie Baker nominee. What does that mean to you?
It's obviously exciting. I think it speaks volumes to our team. For the most part, I get the guys the puck and they do the rest. But no, it was a nice honor. I never had that in my first 4 years, and had a bit of a rough season last year. So just to have that was exciting for sure.
You've played a lot with Sam Court this year. How do you see his game has grown over the season?
I think he's just been getting better and better every game. He's so offensively gifted, and we're really starting to gel together. So I think even just from this, like I tell him all the time, even from just the summer, like he's gotten so much faster and stronger. Like I don't even think he realizes that he's that much quicker. So like just kind of using his skill set to his advantage. It's tough being a freshman, but he's really adjusted well, and I've really enjoyed playing with him.
Can you just talk about Benji as a teammate and what you guys are going to miss about him on the ice?
Yeah, that's a really tough loss. Benji's amazing. He's the oldest guy on the team, and we like to give it to him about that, but he's just such an amazing leader. His work ethic on and off the ice, he's smart, and everyone's going to miss him so much, but he's still going to be a massive part of our locker room, even though he won't necessarily be playing, so we're still lucky to have him around.
Obviously he'll be a part of that, still be a veteran off the ice, but how can you guys as a whole team kind of come together and continue to be leaders on the ice?
Yeah, I think it's just in our depth, like everyone has to step up and sort of fill that role, and also just sort of we're obviously gonna miss him, but like I said, like he's still gonna be around, and he's got our backs. Even that game, he gave us a little speech, and just his passion, we all feed off it, so we'll be playing for him every night.
How much upside does this team still have left in the season?
I think lots. All year we've dealt with injuries, and again, it's really unfortunate that we couldn't finally get a full healthy lineup, but anyone can play anywhere. We've had guys on the fourth line play on the first line, and just moving around, very interchangeable. So I think guys will step into different roles, and and do the best at them.
Like you said, you've been dealing with injuries all year long. What's the mentality you guys have to make sure you guys are still competing for the top spot in the NCHC?
Yeah, I think it's just taking a game at a time. We came in, they had us ranked 8th to finish in the NCHC, and now we're right around the top. So I think it's just taking it a game at a time. There's no more underdog story. It's teams are chasing us, and like you said, we got Denver coming in this weekend, and we got both against them last time. We got to do it again.
Power said that as much as he loves the last group that made the tournament, he thinks this one has a little bit more upside. What, from your perspective, makes this group so special?
I would say honestly our depth, like I was saying before, the guys on the 4th line play on the 1st line, and everyone just gels really, really well together. We've dealt with all those injuries, so everyone sort of had the chance to play together, and I think the chemistry's there. We're a close team off the ice and on the ice, and I would say this is the best team I've ever played for, as well as one of the closest. So I think it's just a really special group altogether.
And when you talk about that, I mean, coaches I know in past seasons has talked about it, but like being able to mix up lines and like you say, having guys fill spots when you're on the ice, you're seeing it. How much do you feel that frustrates teams as they're trying to prep for you?
I think it definitely does, because obviously when you're going over, looking at other teams' tendencies and getting ready for these weekends, you kind of know what each line brings to the table, and with us being so interchangeable, I think a lot of guys have chemistry together. It's easy to mix and match, and it's hard for them to sort of know what's coming, and I think that's something that's really special about our team.
You mentioned that when Benji went down, he gave a speech to you guys in the locker room. What was the message that he gave you guys?
Just that obviously we didn't know exactly all the details. He hadn't met with doctors and whatnot, but just saying that it's his last year, and doesn't matter what happens, like he's going to be here for us, and obviously we have his back, and we'll do whatever we can to win for him.